Hello, good evening, everyone. Welcome to Inside Sports Talk with your host, Joanna Rosali, on this amazing, beautiful Tuesday night. And I am joined today by my amazing co host, great friend, Ed Cole. Hi, Ed. How are you? Great to be back once again in this freaking exciting day tonight.
Of course, it's exciting because it's baseball. Your love is in full swing. We're playing a wild card game, and the playoffs are on.
Indeed, they are. It is my favorite time of the year. For many, it's the holidays or Christmas. Who it's the best time of the year. For me, it's the postseason. It's baseball. My favorite time, and I think it's better than Christmas. Although I think my co-host Ed here disagrees, but it just lights me up like no tomorrow, and it's like Christmas lights everywhere for me, literally.
But it does have a really great feeling seeing the Yankees and the Red Sox play. One, arguably the best rivalry in all of sports outside of Ravens, Steelers, or Celtics, Lakers. Red Sox, Yankees. For them to be in the AL wild card, Joanna, winner wins and moves on to Tampa. The loser goes home for the season. It's only fitting that those two teams would play tonight for the right to go on to play Tampa in the ALDS.
Yes, indeed. Wild card race, and it's a wild one. It's a win, go home. Hang on, and this is better than what I expected it to be. I did get my wish because I know we had talked about this previously, Ed, and how I wanted it to be the Yankees and the Red Sox for the American League wild card matchup, and indeed that dream did come true, and is just amazing, phenomenal. Garrett Cole was just slaughtered and torn to pieces and chased out of that mound. He had just 2+ innings. He was out there pitching, 4 hits, 3 runs, 3 walks, 3 strikeouts, 3 home runs. Red Sox hit 3 home runs within just 2+ innings when Garrett Cole was out there on that mound with 50 pitches and 30 strikeouts. The Red Sox did some major damage against Cole. But you know what? One of the things is the Red Sox, they haven't had any given any walks. We have our great pitcher, that starting pitcher for the Boston Red Sox, who was just phenomenal. He pitched 5 innings, Eovaldi, and he was just fire. He just lit up that mound. Cora didn't want to go ahead and risk it when he came into some trouble, and Yankees hit a home run, but they're just Red Sox right now. They just seem unstoppable.
Yeah, when Nathan Eovaldi pitches the way he has pitched tonight, as you mentioned, the 8 strikeouts and 5 in the third innings, and then Ryan Brazier comes in and pitches well, and Tanner Houck comes in and pitches well, and Robles has now come in and he's pitching well. For you to not give up a single walk to one of the most dynamic offenses in baseball in the New York Yankees, Joanna, and you can get to and affect Garrett Cole, one of the best pitchers in this game, who's probably one of the Cy Young candidates in the American League. You can hit him for 2 home runs and jack his ERA up to almost 14 in 2 innings, and you can chase him out. I mean, you're getting something done if you're the Boston Red Sox, and that's getting it done. You got 6 runs and you've got 7 hits against the Yankees, and you can only hold them to 5 hits in a run. You're getting it done pitching wise, and you're getting it done hitting wise.
Yes, and I just want to give you a fair warning. Right now, the game is going on. They are going on to the 8th here. The Red Sox are leading 6-1 over the Yankees. So I do have the TV in front of me. So for tonight, I did switch locations. So if anything happens and I have some movement or I squeal or something, just beware. It's because of the game. I will do my best to be on the best of my behaviors tonight. But with that, I will go ahead and introduce our special guest for the night, Shawn Sierra, former football player, founder of Sports Zone Chicago. Shawn, thank you for being here tonight and joining us on this eventful wild card night. But I want to go ahead and ask you, you're in the East Coast, you're in Chicago. I know we talked a little bit of baseball a couple weeks ago. You had me on this show, which was awesome. Thank you for the invitation. And how do you in the East or Central or East Coast handle games like this when they go on so late and they're just so exciting? How do you wind down from this?
It's difficult, luckily for us, the games it's we don't catch a lot on the West Coast because a lot of us have to get up and go to work. But in it's tough when you get good games, and unfortunately for us, if the games are good on the West Coast, we'll stay up. A lot of people will stay up and watch, and we'll have to deal with the consequences in the morning. But luckily here, especially in the middle, in the Midwest or Central time zone where I'm at in Chicago, or if the games are in the East or in our time zone, they're usually not too late, but they do go late once in a while. But like I said, if they're really good, we'll suck it up and we'll watch it.
Yeah, because right now it's like 2 hours difference between our Pacific West Coast time to your time. So I know this right now the game's going longer than we expected it to be, and it's going on
Well,
now three hours.
Well, playoff games go a lot longer anyway because
Yes.
each pitch is dire. People don't, if you're not a baseball fan and you're a true baseball fan, you don't understand that each pitch, like the first pitch of an at bat, a 1-0 count versus an 0-1 count is a huge deal. 1-0 count advantage batter, 0-1 count advantage pitcher. So now the pitcher has more weapons to use if he's down 1-0. Now he has to try and get that first strike, and the batter realizes that he's got to get that first strike because pitchers never want to go 2-0 because then you got to come with a fastball to get that strike because you can't go 3-0. So playoffs take longer. Pitches are more deliberate, and it's just there's not going to be a 3-hour game, less than a 3-hour game in the playoffs. It's not happening.
Yeah, no, definitely. I'm used to it. Hey, I love baseball. Like I was saying earlier, it's my favorite time of the year. It's better than Christmas, and I do not mind baseball. Postseason is my favorite. But once it's over, I will go on I will just go in a funk and I'll be sad for days, but I recover. So, but
Good.
yes, I want to go ahead and go on. We have on Wednesday, tomorrow night, the St. Louis Cardinals and the Los Angeles Dodgers for the National League wild card game happening. So it's going to be a wild one, and I want to get your thoughts on this National League matchup. On how do you think this is going to go down? I know that the Dodgers have been a little bit of talk, and they were a little of a favorite at the beginning of the season, and still hopeful that they would be able to take it all away and maybe have a two-peat in the World Series. Do you think that's possible? But they also have the Cardinals who are doing pretty awesome too.
It's a tough call because it's with a one game playoff. It's difficult. If it's a series, Dodgers easily, very easily. I wouldn't even give it a second thought. But because it's one game, it's a one game playoff. You never know. It's very difficult. I think the Dodgers are definitely the much better team. It's just unfortunate that San Francisco. It was unfortunate for the Dodgers that San Francisco came out of nowhere this year and decided to win like 650 games. Like, where the heck did this come from? They weren't anticipated to be that good at all. So the Dodgers are second in the West and they have to get in with a wild card. So it's going to be a tough one. It really, really is. It's really a toss up because the pitcher misses a pitch or misses location in the first inning, with a runner on and it goes yard. All of a sudden now you're down 2-0. It can snowball quickly, and the Dodgers could be the best teams. They're definitely one of but they could be the best team in the National League. But they might not get out of that game tomorrow because St. Louis is playing really, really, really good baseball.
And it's crazy because you've got the two best pitchers on either one of these teams. Sean and Adam Wainwright's going for the Cardinals, and Max Scherzer is going for the world champions. Innocent Chavez Ravine, a site of so many great memories, baseball wise, World Series, whatever. That should be a phenomenal game, and it's with two of the best baseball programs, if not two of the best professional franchises in all of sports, the Cardinals and the Dodgers. I mean, it's like tonight, the Yankees and the Red Sox. It's tailor-made for October baseball that these historic franchises are playing for the right to go on and fight for a world championship.
It is, but it's also changing of the guard too, because now you realize there's a lot of other teams because now you can't see the Bo Sox and and the Evil Empire in the American League Championship Series, like you've seen so many times. They're in the wild card. You're not going to see the Dodgers and the Cardinals in the National League Championship Series, where we would love it to be a 7-game series because they're in the wild card. So there's a lot of other people, a lot of other teams that are in there that are really going to that are really making noise, and good for them. Because sometimes you do get tired of the same old teams in there, and it's good to have new blood, but also good to have a infusion of some old blood too. It's like, hey, we haven't gone anywhere. Just so we haven't gone anywhere.
Yes, indeed, and I do want to go ahead and mention here. This is for Albert Pujols. It's with the Dodgers now.
Mm-hmm.
He's This is his return to the postseason since 2014, and this comes in the event of Max Muncy, being injured and out. So that's giving the opportunity for Pujols to come in and play and get some action. And then also Kershaw is out for the postseason, so he will not see any activity. We will not see him on the mound for the remainder of the postseason. He does become a free agent at the end of the season when it's all said and done. So that's going to be one of the effects that the Dodgers also are going to have to face. And we know how sometimes their pitching also can get them into trouble. They are deep with their pitching, but sometimes they don't always come through. And one of the concerns that I do have with the Dodgers, they're great on paper and they are the best thing that can one of the best teams that can make it all the way if they pull past this win or go home wild card game. Is their pitching is a concern because that can get them into trouble.
Yeah, pitching is a big concern. As I said, if it doesn't matter if it's Kershaw or whoever's on the bump for you guys. You miss a spot early on. You better hope that there's nobody on base, because a bloop and a blast or a walk and a blast put you down 2-0. And you got to remember. I know you have great pitchers, but there's great hitters on the other side. St. Louis just won 17, 18 in a row to close out the season. Pretty much close out the season. They're hot. So you definitely have no margin for error when it comes to pitching. And if you're not on your A game, it can get ugly fast. And if you are in your A game, then it could be one hell of a pitcher's duel. So and that's exactly what we want, what Major League Baseball wants, but more importantly, what the fans want. We want to see a big time duel with some heavyweights who are fighting it out in the wild card, as opposed to a divisional round or the championship round. So and again, one game it's winner take all, one game, and that's it. So you got to come out firing. You have pitchers can't miss their spots at all, because the Dodger pitchers especially can't miss their spots, because these Cardinals are hot, and vice versa too. Let's not get it twisted. The Cardinal pitchers can't miss spots either, because there's some power in that Dodger lineup as well.
Yeah,
So,
you're right. Go ahead, Joe.
Go ahead, Ed. Go ahead.
I was just going to piggyback off what you said, Shawn, about the margin of error, especially in the playoffs. It is so slim. We're talking about that tonight. How Garrett Cole, he struggled in his 2 innings. He threw 50 pitches, but he walked 2, struck out 3, gave up 2 home runs. And the Yankees pitchers as a whole, they walked 7 batters, and Boston took full advantage of that. Meanwhile, on the flip side, Boston, they haven't walked a single New York Yankees batter, because they know the importance of keeping those Yankees hitters off base, because they know they're one of the best hitting teams in baseball, if not the best hitting team in baseball. And they will absolutely destroy you. The Yankees will, if you let guys get on base, and they take full advantage of that. So Boston so far has really done well from a pitching standpoint, and obviously from a hitting standpoint. They've got 6 runs and 7 hits against New York hitting. So it takes a full team to get a victory, Shawn, especially in the playoffs. Like you said, with the margin of error is like that, it's so super slim.
It really is. And what's crazy is, as you see, I'm a White Sox fan. I'm not a Cub fan by any stretch, but 2 former Cubs are going at it, and Kyle Schwarber on the Bo Sox and Anthony Rizzo on the Yanks. And it just seems like Kyle Schwarber, he's 1 for 3 right now, 1 for 3 with an RBI. So this guy, he's owned Garrett Cole in the playoffs. They've met back in when Rizzo and when Schwarber was with the Cubs, and he's owned him in the playoffs. So. And not a surprise there, in my opinion, that Kyle Schwarber was able to get to Garrett Cole. This is going to be fun. This is fun. Boston's up 6-1 right now, but a bloop and a blast, it's 6-3, and all of a sudden now you're right back in it. And this is the great part about it. What are they in the bottom of the
eighth?
Bottom of the eighth.
Bottom of the eighth.
So there's not much time left. So,
Yeah,
uh,
Yankees are down to 3 outs, and that's it.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so anything can happen with baseball, and that's one of the reasons why I love baseball so much is it's unpredictable. You never know what's going to happen. It can just, of a drop of a hat, it can change the momentum, and it's like a chess game. And that's what I like to compare it to, and that's what I love about it. Um, but it, on playing the pieces, we have the postseason picture of what it looks like right now, and I want to go ahead and talk a little bit about that and get some predictions here going. So we have, depending on what is the outcome of tonight between the Boston Red Sox and New York Yankees, we'll be facing the Tampa Bay Rays. And then on the other side, we have Chicago White Sox and your team, Sean,
Oh yeah.
and the Houston Astros. And then going to the National League, we have Los Angeles Dodgers and St. Louis Cardinals playing tomorrow, Wednesday, for that wild card in the National League. The winner would face San Francisco Giants. On the other end, we have Atlanta Braves facing off the Milwaukee Brewers. So I want to go ahead and get your predictions, Sean, off of these teams and who would be advancing to the next stage.
So first and foremost, Houston Astros are cheaters. So we need to get that out right now. Okay. It was a disgrace what baseball did not do to them with their cheating scandal. No stripping of the title, none of that. So my White Sox need to come and they really need to do a number on this Houston Astros team. They're good. Don't get me wrong, they're good. But still, that stench of that tainted World Series really it gets at me. It sticks in my craw, and I can't get over that. I can't get past that. I know they have a new manager in Dusty Baker, and him and Antonio La Russa have had issues in the past. So it's going to be a good series. I just think my White Sox are a little too tough right now. I think 1 through 6 or 1 through 7 in that lineup are people who are very dangerous that you cannot pitch around. And then the 8 and 9 hitters, those are guys who can slap it around. Those are guys who can turn over the lineup. So there's really not a weak spot in this lineup. And then I want to say the starting pitching will kind of be a wash and negate each other. But our bullpen I believe, is much better. We've got a lot of got a lot of arms, a lot of names that have really come on toward the end of the season. We have Michael Kopech, Ryan Tepera. We also have Aaron Bummer, who's for the most of the last year he was lights out, and then this year for the majority of the year. I was livid at Tony La Russa for keep trying this guy out, and he kept giving him time because we had a big lead in the division, so he had ability to let him work it out, and boy, he worked it out. So we got him. We have Aaron Bummer. We also have Garrett Crochet, and then at the back of the bullpen we have Liam Hendricks and Craig Kimbrell. So we have two of the best closers in the game. So I think my White Sox should advance to the next round. I'd like it to be 3-0. But it could be 3-1, maybe 3-2.
All right. And if it does turn out to be Boston Red Sox, which it seems like it will be, I think can still change. But in the event that it is them and the Tampa Bay Rays, who do you see there? If the Boston do advance, who would you like them to face off?
I'm looking big picture because Tampa's given us problems. Okay, and this is strictly from a White Sox fan. So
I get it.
I wouldn't want to face Tampa. They're a really good team, and they gave us the business this year, and they're in the regular season. I'd much rather face. I don't even know if I'd rather face Boston because you know what? Sometimes even though you're playing a better team, it's not who's the better team in the playoffs when you're in a 5 or 7 game series. At that point, it's who's the hottest. And Boston wins this, they get in. So now you're dealing with one of the hottest teams in baseball. It's going to be a tough one. I would probably say, the Rays. I think I would like the Rays to advance. I think we because Boston's too hot right now, and it's like a hot goalie in hockey. He can take you to the Stanley Cup and win you a Stanley Cup if you got a hot goalie. And when you got a team who's really riding high and going into the playoffs, they're very dangerous regardless of what their record is. So, yeah, let me get. I think Tampa Bay. I think I'd like to see advance.
And what about the National League? Who are your two teams there?
Give me one of the matchups again.
So right now we have the Atlanta Braves facing up Milwaukee Brewers, and then we have San Francisco Giants. I know it's still dependent on tomorrow's outcome
This
between LA Dodgers and the St. Louis Cardinals, but
I've always liked the Brewers. I've always liked the Brewers, even since they were an American League team. I was a big fan. They're very close. It's what, an hour and change from Chicago, if that.
Mhm.
I grew up, watching. Big fan of Robin Yount, number 19, as shortstop before he got moved to center field. Paul
Yeah.
Molitor. I was a big fan of the Brewers. And then I'm not a Cub fan, so anytime the Brewers get to they beat the Cubs, I love it. I enjoy it. I give, I bust my Cub fan friends that bust their chops all the time. I tease them when Christian Yelich beat Javi Baez for the MVP a couple seasons ago. So I just love it. Trust me, there's a lot of smack talking here in Chicago on the north, between the north and the south side. So I'll take that. I'll take the Brewers coming out of that particular matchup, because I know their bullpen is really, 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 really good. And then the other matchup you said is well, see, it depends on tomorrow. Like I
Yeah,
said,
could be the Dodgers or the Cardinals
Yeah.
against the Giants.
if if the Dodgers win, that's going to be tough, because now you're just going right back in. It's going to be a division matchup, and at
Mhm.
that point, it doesn't matter what the record is, because division matchups are tough. Um, I think the Dodgers might. I think the Dodgers might be able to come out if they get past St. Louis. That's a big if. Remember, I just said we just talked about it. St.
Mhm.
Louis won. They had a 17-game win streak a couple of days ago. I mean, right before the season ended, so they could be hot. So we'll see. Oh, what you got going on over there?
Uh-oh. Yankee Giancarlo just hit a home run. 6-2.
Oh,
Oh,
Yep.
buddy.
well, hey,
My heart is racing right now, and it wants to
Oh,
jump out of its chest.
here we go,
luckily there's
Sean.
nobody on. Hey, did I tell you? Make sure if you give up a homer, you don't
Make
want
sure
to
it's a solo.
Yeah,
That's
you
right.
don't want to bloop in a blast, because that could have been six. It would have been 6-3. Now you're in the game. So,
Yeah.
luckily, whew.
But Sean, but Sean, it's amazing how a home run by Giancarlo, something like that, can rally the Yankees. It could send them soaring right now. We don't know. It's one out, so it's going to be tough for the Red Sox to close it out. But now they're feeling it because they're one run closer. So now it really revitalizes that team in the dugout that may be thinking, man, how are we going to come back and win this game? But now Giancarlo hit a home run, so the feeling is so much different in that dugout now.
Yeah, and you're gonna have guys rallying around, and you got guys on there who've come back from deficits.
Mhm.
As I mentioned, Anthony Rizzo, former Cub, they were down 3-1 in the World Series, and came back, and they were down in Game 7, and they came back. So you have guys that you have people on there who are two outs, okay. So, but you still have guys on there who are familiar with the situation. So, you
Yep.
still got it. It doesn't look very good for the Yanks, but that's why you play 27 outs. That's why you play all 27.
Yeah.
And you know what,
Exactly.
Sean, I agree with you with what it could if it's the Dodgers and the Giants, just like Boston. Looks like it's going to be Boston and Tampa. Those division matchups in the playoffs are amazing because clearly these two teams know each other. They played each other 18 times this year. So who knows each other better than their own division rivals? So that would add that much more intrigue and excitement to this series. It looks like Boston's going to wrap it up here. They've got a fly ball. Yep. So Boston's going on to Tampa.
Okay.
See, Joanna's happy. That's congratulations, Joe.
So I went to school I went to school in Massachusetts. I went to Holy Cross in Worcester, Massachusetts. So I believe me, I know all about the Bo Sox and the wicked pissa over there, and those. So yeah, so I'll have a lot of
But we'll have
further.
to have another chat and talk about those experiences.
So I know a lot of my Massachusetts friends are happy right about now.
Ooh, I'm trying to not, jump in excitement here and keep it together.
So you're a
But I
big
have to.
Boston fan?
I'm a huge Boston Red Sox fan.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. But I have to
Wow.
ask the hard question here. Who would you want to see in the World Series?
It's going to be a biased opinion, but I have facts to back it up, and I want my White Sox. I want my White Sox in there. I think they have a lineup. They last year they got eliminated in the first round in game They didn't have a number three starter, and Oakland was able to take us. And so, there's a lot about this White Sox team that I'm really excited about. And it's not just because it's my team, but I'm actually, I love baseball. So, in watching this season, it was fun. It was a little nerve wracking because we lost so many people. We lost Eloy Jimenez, who's going to be an MVP candidate, perennial MVP candidate in upcoming years. Luis Robert, we lost him to an injury, and we were down our top five outfielders at one particular point. We lost our top five outfielders. And then Jose Abreu. The names in this lineup are guys that are, if you don't know their name now, trust me, they're going to be superstars and MVP candidates. But the fact of the matter is that they're hungry. They had a chance, and one of the things that I really like when I see a team, when they have a chance to close it out, their first chance when they played Cleveland a couple of weeks ago, they just had to win one, or Cleveland had to lose one. So basically, they had to win one of the 5 games in Cleveland to win the division, and they took care of it the first game. That's really handling your business, taking care of business, not extending it, not giving anyone else hope. And I really like the attitude and the focus that this team has going. And as I said, their starting pitching is good, is really good, but their bullpen is great. So I definitely want to see my Chicago White Sox in the World Series. And on the National League side, that's a tough one. That really is. I mean, Chicago Brewers, White Sox, and Brewers would be. There's not a lot of, because Milwaukee's a smaller market. I'd love to see the Chicago White Sox and LA Dodgers, or any team on the West Coast. I think I would like. So the Dodgers or the Giants, either one of those two teams, I would be cool to see face my White Sox.
Right. Yes, I have to mention that the postseason, just going back to one thing that you said, you will get to know names that you don't, if you're not familiar with, you don't know them now, you will know them in the future. And one of my favorite things is that about the postseason, that it creates superstars. It creates all-stars. And that's, just one of the things and the beauties of playing the game and making it to, whether that's just to the wild card or the post, just in the postseason in general, or even more the World Series. More, makes it's just a highlight.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
There's a lot of guys, in like 2 guys who came back from injury this year. I talked about Eloy Jimenez and Luis Robert. See, those guys are hitting their stride because they missed. I know Eloy missed about 100 games. Lubob missed about 50 to 70 games. Okay, so they're still they're a lot fresher than everybody else, and they were on a tear the last 3 to 4 weeks of the season, and they're going into the playoffs hot. And with those 2 guys, if you don't know the name Luis Robert, you better get used to that name. This Joker is a 5-tool player. Eloy Jimenez is going to be one of the best right-handed power hitters in the game. He already is, and it's just people haven't heard of him yet. But him and Luis Robert, here's the crazy part. There's literally going to be 5 MVP candidates on the White Sox every year. We already have one in Jose Abreu. He's a reigning MVP. Okay, then talking about Lubob. We call him Lubob here in Chicago. So Luis Robert, Eloy Jimenez, Tim Anderson was in the MVP race last year, the last couple of seasons. Okay, and Yoan Moncada. Yoan Moncada at one point was the number one. We came from Boston in the Chris Sale trade. He was the number 1 prospect in the minor leagues. And this guy, he batted third. He finished third in batting average 2 seasons ago when Tim Anderson was first. So we're going to have literally 5 guys in the running for the American League MVP starting in 2022.
Yeah, great team with the Chicago White Sox. They are better than I expected them to be. No lie there, and I am impressed not only with them, the way that they have evolved, just all around organization, and with Tony La Russa too. He's just great, phenomenal. When he produces greatness as well. But I just want to go ahead and just give the final update with the Boston Red Sox advancing to the ALDS. That will be facing the Tampa Bay Rays. So that's going to be an exciting series there. I cannot wait to see that. And of course, I go for my Boston Red Sox, and I hope to see a Sox and Sox matchup here. Hopefully, it does come to fruition. I'm going to speak it to the universe and have it manifest.
But Joanna, how did you become a Red Sox fan? Or are you from the East Coast?
No, I'm an Arizona native, but before the Arizona had the Arizona Diamondbacks and their baseball team, there wasn't any. So I grew up watching, all other teams, but Normal Garcia Parra, that's one of the
Nomar.
players who I love watching when I was younger. And he just had this thing about him, and he still does, just as a person. And just watching him play, he just had that
He did
pop.
it for you. I got you. He did it for you. I
Yeah, he
got
did
you.
it
I
for
got
me,
you.
and that's I just from there it was history, and I've just always followed them, and they're
Okay.
my guys.
I got you. I got you.
So yeah,
Okay.
but still, Arizona Diamondbacks, being an Arizona native, have to root for them and cheer on for them. I still went to their games, and even though they're losing and it's tough right now, it was tough, but I'm still there and supporting.
Good.
But that's
Good.
that's the story behind that. I
Good
know it
stuff.
surprises a lot of people. But I do want to go ahead. If is it okay to keep you on a little bit longer? I know we're going a little bit over
Yeah.
time
Sure.
here.
That's fine.
Okay.
That's fine.
Okay, awesome. So, guys, we're joined here with Shawn Sierra, former professional football player, founder of Sports Zone Chicago. So, I want to go ahead and move it on to NFL. We just wrapped up week 4. Week 5 has just started. Actually, we'll be starting on Thursday. Excuse me. I'm running ahead. My mind goes sometimes 100,000 miles an hour. Ask Ed. But I want to go ahead and get your takeaway of this week 4, guys. And I'll have a segment called The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly for the NFL. So we're talking good news for, so many great things have happened. My amazing Red Sox just won. So let's keep it on the good news for now. Why not? Right? So I'm gonna go ahead and lead it off with you, Ed. Who was your good, or what team was your good out of this week 4?
My good would be the Kansas City Chiefs. What they did offensively in Philadelphia, I was looking at their stats. They were 9 for 10 on third downs, had almost 500 yards of offense, ran the ball for 200 yards. Oh, Tyreek Hill, all he did was 186 yards and 3 touchdowns. And Patrick Mahomes threw for 5 touchdowns, Sean and Joanna. So my good would be the Kansas City Chiefs getting that second win of the year. And man, looking good like they did, like they're normally used to looking. There were questions like, wow, why are the Chiefs coming back down to earth? Have people figured out Patrick Mahomes? Have they figured out how to beat the Chiefs? Well, Philly didn't figure out how to beat them on Sunday because they look really good offensively.
So my good.
What about you,
My
Sean?
good. My good. I'm gonna be a homer here. My good was Justin Fields. Finally getting a second start, his first start at home at Soldier Field, and Matt Nagy not calling plays. No, let me tell you something about that. This guy is, he's one of the worst play callers that I've ever seen in my life, and he crippled Justin Fields last week. His game plan was poorly developed. He got him sacked 9 times with a very, very, very good Cleveland Browns defensive line. We're talking Jadeveon Clowney, McKinley, Myles Garrett. Sacked him 9 times, okay, because he had a game plan that was conducive to their other quarterback, Andy Dalton, and not Justin Fields. So now our offensive coordinator, Bill Lazor's calling the plays, and this guy obviously knows how to run and call a game. So Justin Fields is unleashed. The numbers don't pop out at you, but what I'm telling you is his ability to make plays and play freely under Bill Lazor. Man, that was so good. He had a 64-yard pass to Darnell Mooney. He had another 30-something yard pass to Darnell Mooney. He had a 28-yard pass to Allen Robinson. This guy looks good. He escaped a couple of blitzes. One of them, he just spun away from the defender, and the defender went sprawling to the ground. And let me tell you, that was good. That was amazing for me to finally see him start with a competent play caller and get the win.
I have to agree with you. That was a tough one for me with my good between the Cardinals and the Bears. I do have that's my like 1B are the Bears and Justin Fields
Okay.
through. And they're 2-2. They're even, so not bad and not great, but they're even right now. But my good was the Arizona Cardinals. They are 4-0. They are the only undefeated team left in the NFL.
Yep.
They beat one of the toughest teams out there, the Los Angeles Rams. So that's who I just have to give it props to right now. The Arizona Cardinals are proving me wrong. So I know I had said it, Ed had asked me, and someone else had asked me about the Arizona Cardinals. They look great on paper, and they have looked great on paper. But sometimes when it comes, to it, they play good those first few games, but then it, comes apart. As we know, sometimes that happens, at least with this team.
Mm-hmm.
So far, so good. So I'm not trying to get my hopes up. But Calgary, he's improved. They're just all around, they're just pulling through, and they did what they had to do and come on top of the Los Angeles Rams this past Sunday.
Yeah, that was a great one. And the Rams are a real scary team. They're really, really scary.
They are. I'm not
Happy about them.
happy about it. So yeah, I tried. I actually missed the game, but I did catch the highlights. I was actually covering the Phoenix Mercury game, which we'll talk about a little bit later in the show. But it was just all around great for the Arizona Cardinals. But let's go ahead and move on to the bad, though. And I'm going to go ahead and lead off with you, Shawn. What was something bad that you saw this weekend?
One of the things that I saw bad this weekend, I want to say the New England Patriots. They had it was a tough game against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tom Terrific, his first time back in New England. And it wasn't just the game. It wasn't that. It was after the game. And there's a picture going around the internet where Bill Belichick embraces Tom Brady. And it was just so, because I want to say bad, because you sit there and you see so much sorrow, so much pain, so much regret, a whole bunch of different things from those two guys. And because those guys really should be together. They should still be together. But for whatever reason, and they did a great job of keeping it under wraps, really, how everything went down over there. But the way Bill Belichick was hugging Tom Brady, you could see how much he loved him. You could see, and Tom Brady, obviously wanted to beat him, but there was just so much pain. And I almost felt bad for Bill Belichick, almost. But I just thought that was so bad for the Patriots to not be able to get that win at home over Tom Brady. It was tough, and like I said, that embrace for me was the worst, was the bad part, because you just saw how, if they could go back and do it all over again, I think each of them would have done a lot of stuff differently, and he probably would have won his 7th ring and probably keep playing in New England. So that was the bad part.
Yeah, a little tough to watch on Sunday night. I'm not gonna lie. Ed, what's your bad?
My bad would be the Houston Texans. They go to Buffalo and they get 109 yards of offense under Davis Mills at the quarterback position, because we all know what's going on with their other quarterback and the issues that they're having there with him not being able to get a trade with that guy, and he being a healthy scratch every single week. That'd be Deshaun Watson. So they had 109 yards of offense. Guess how many penalty yards they had, Shawn and Joanna?
How many?
100.
Oh,
so they almost had as many penalty yards as they had offensive yards.
Oh.
Davis Mills was 11 of 21, 87 yards. He threw 4 interceptions, Shawn. That's how bad it is for Houston, that they're rolling this young kid out here from Stanford, and he has no clue on what's going on. And David Culley, the head coach, the rookie head coach, he has no idea what is going on. That team was an absolute disaster. They lost J.J. Watt, of course, let him go. And, of course, they let DeAndre Hopkins go, and the Cardinals fleeced them for that guy. And they got J.J. in the process. So it will be the Houston Texans in that deplorable game in Orchard Park on Sunday.
Yeah, the way you're describing it like horrendously bad.
Well, it is. But they got shut out, Joanna. It was 40-0. Their quarterback threw for less than 100 yards. He threw more yards. He threw more yards than Justin Fields did 2 weeks ago in Cleveland. So I'll give him credit for that.
No, what I was saying, going with this, it's so horrendously bad that it's you're talking about an ugly, which is my ugly.
I've got one. I've got an ugly worse than that. That's why this is bad.
But my bad, actually, Tennessee Titans losing to the New York Jets.
Oh,
Yeah.
So
yeah.
that's my bad.
Oh,
Mhm.
that's your bad. I can't wait to hear you ugly because that is anyone
Well,
losing to the Jets.
right? Like that's just like I don't know, bad. So now Tennessee Titans are 2-2. New York Jets, now they don't have a zero, on there. It's a 1-3. So they were able to do something right, I guess. I did expect better out of the Titans, and they had when you're talking numbers, everything the Titans, they have it. They have the better numbers all, through and through, but the Jets were just able to go ahead and capitalize and, put it together and come ahead on top of the Titans. So for me, that's my bad, and that's what I'll go ahead and leave it. But going on to the ugly, my ugly was the Texans, which is everything that Ed just described. So I don't know if there's any further description that I can go ahead and give out of for my ugly out of the Texans. To be honest, so Ed wrapped it up for me in a bow, and then I don't know. I'm wanting to hear what Ed's ugly is if it's not the Houston Texans, because Texans lost 0-40 Buffalo Bills. So they're 1-3. Buffalo Bills are 3-1. So they're Buffalo Bills are looking good.
Yep. Sean, give your ugly, then I'll do my ugly because it is the ugliest thing that happened in week 4.
Mine is mine is the Pittsburgh Steelers. They dropped to 1-3, and this is a team that made the playoffs with under their head coach. Every year he's been there, and this is a team that looks. Big Ben looks horrible. Big Ben looks like father. We all know Father Time is undefeated. And Ben Roethlisberger looks like Father Time is just beating his butt right now, and he looks incompetent. He looks nothing like the Big Ben we've seen throughout his career. That Pittsburgh Steelers they fell to 1-3, and I don't know. That's a pretty. Luckily, it's early, but that's a pretty big hole to end the first quarter of the season with a 1-3 record to start.
Yeah, Sean, especially in that division with the Ravens and Cincinnati's getting better. We know the Browns
and
are
the Browns.
the Browns. Yes. So you can't afford to go 1-3, 1-4, and expect to come back and be competitive in that division. Not happening.
Nope, not at all.
Oh,
before you go ahead and give us your ugly, Ed, I want to go ahead and just pause here for a second. I'm going to go ahead and invite a surprise or announce a surprise guest here that I invited, and it was under wraps and a little secret. It's a great, amazing friend, one of my favorite people out there, PLR from the Sports Cave, who is also great friends of Shawn. So, hi, PLR. Look who we have on tonight. Perfect timing.
Super back.
PLR, baby. How you doing? Hey, you know what? I just got the care package you sent me today. So thank you so much for those stogies. I appreciate it. I will spark one up this weekend before I coached on Sunday. We got a game on Sunday, so I'll spark one up Saturday night in preparation for it. Man, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Now remember, the key is to keep the label so you remember what you smoked.
I will do that.
I learned that from him. Major mistake I've made in the past.
Yeah, I see you hanging with the two superstars. Every now and then, I have to pay them. They let me come on and hang. The big baller Ed Cole and the boss Joanna. And every now and then, I slide them a little something under the table. They let me come in.
Hey, you know how we do. Grease them palms, man. Grease them. Do what you got to do.
We're from Chicago. I like the shirt. I'm wearing my White Sox shirt, too. It's time for the good guys to get one on Thursday.
Yes, it is, Doctor. I cannot wait. I'm fired to freak up. They had a rally yesterday at Sox Park in the parking lot, and I forgot how many people, but there were tons of people there. It was dope. I went for Friday for the last series, and man, it was just a great time.
I was listening to Carmen Yurko a little bit earlier, and I agree with Yurko. I agree with Carm. I don't want a rally. I want a parade.
Bingo.
There you go.
The hunt for 11. The hunt for 11 victories. That's it. The first one to 11.
Yep. And make sure it's the right color socks, not that red sock nonsense rigmarole.
Hey.
Yeah, I said it.
I found out Joanna was. She told me she was all excited, and I asked her, well, "Wait a minute, how did you become a Red Sox fan?" She's like, "Oh, no, Mark Garcia Parra had a cute butt." I'm like, "Whoa, wait, what the?"
Superback, are you ready for this? She likes the Packers.
Oh, you know what? I think I left something on the stove. Wow. Yeah, I gotta go clip my toenails or something. Wow.
It's so good. I'm used to it. But you know what? I'll give you one better. My favorite pitcher. It's not a Red Sox and it's not a Diamondback.
Who is that?
Max
You know,
Scherzer.
PLR. He actually played for the team that the Boston Red Sox just beat. He was a closer.
Garrett. Oh, Mariano.
See.
No.
Mariano,
Okay.
Mariano
Okay.
Rivera.
I thought you were talking still active. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. No,
That's why I was like thinking active.
All time. All time.
Oh,
Oh.
Sandman. Yeah, Sandman. There's no comparison to the Sandman. He was dope.
Yeah.
He was dope. He was a
Yeah.
man.
Give me Bobby Thickpin in 57.
I'll take 57 saves. Yes.
All right. So right before you came on, PLR, we paused to give you the awesome greeting, and Ed was just about to give his ugly out of week 4. So, then I'm going to go ahead and go with you and give me your ugliest of the ugliest from week 4. So,
real quick, did I miss Ed's great? Because he doesn't do a good. He does a great. Did I miss his great?
No, it was good this week.
Great today.
Oh, dang it! I was looking forward to the great.
But you can do a great.
Do your good and bad. You got a good and bad, Paul, before I do my ugly?
The good is that Laser was the play caller for the Bears this weekend. Yep. That was the good. The bad, am I PG this weekend, guys, or can I say what I really want to say?
Say what you really want to say. There's no filter here.
That jackass Matt Nagy is the bad, because instead of saying my assistant coach, or you know what, who called the plays, Matt? Laser called the plays. He called a great game. We won the game. Let's move forward. Instead of saying that, he comes out and says, it all goes through me. Everything stops with me. Yeah, Mr. Narcissistic jerk of a coach couldn't even let his assistant have his moment, when everyone knows that great leaders promote from within, and you show you're a great leader by delegating that power, letting someone else do it, and then them moving on to be a head coach. That's how you get a coaching tree, by reminding everybody that you're the head coach and it all has to go through Matt Nagy. That soiled it. It's like if you borrow $20 from someone, they go tell everybody, well, they went because I gave them the $20 to go. It's not the same meaning. Who gives a crap at that point? So, and then he followed that up with Andy Dalton is still my starter. I'm done with this dude all the way through. I'm done with this dude. The worst thing that ever happened to him is Adam Gase left the NFL. Now he is officially the worst coach in the NFL. So there's my bad.
Unfortunately, Paul, I agree. Because this guy isn't, sitting here and listening to his pressers, he has to have some sort of credit, and that's just unbelievable. And here's the bad part is that everybody wants him out here. Everybody wants him gone. Every single their hashtag Fire Nagy stickers and posters being posted all through the city. It's hilarious. Hashtag Fire Nagy. But the fact that now Bill Lazor's calling plays, I said last week, if Bill Lazor calls the plays the rest of the year, the Bears will make the playoffs. I said, and if they make the playoffs, you know what? That means Nagy keeps his job.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's hit or miss at this point. I mean, I just have never seen anyone that narcissistic. He doesn't understand, as the head coach, if the team wins, he ultimately gets the credit anyway. And every week he comes out and tells that lie, I'll do whatever I have to do for a Bears victory. Well, try shutting the hell up. How about that for a Bears victory?
That would be great.
Shut up.
If he came and said, I don't want to talk, that would be awesome.
That should happen. Sorry, Shawn.
No, go ahead.
Here's the thing that I think should happen, that PLR should coach the coach.
No. I've got enough coaching gigs already, so I'm good. Got 3 teams already,
What to do,
and
what not to do.
I'm not a football coach. Get the superback. He's already in Chicago to coach him. So I just, at least he would own what he does. Look, whether you make a mistake or not, it doesn't matter. You own it. And he refuses to own anything. And he refuses unless he has to work himself in for credit. He doesn't want the shine to go to anybody else. That is bad for a coach. That's how you lose your team. Everyone that watched that Cleveland game said, why is this dude doing 7-step drops, only putting a hat on a hat, putting your rookie quarterback in a position to say, well, I ran my offense. He couldn't do it. Well, it is hard to block Myles Garrett one-on-one. Every team in the NFL knows it. They don't do it, but the Bears decide to with that weak-ass offensive line. Mm-hmm. So what happens this week? First play, laser comes out, 3 tight ends. Next time up, there's a fullback. If Nagy was calling those plays, Montgomery will rip off an 11-yard run, and then he'd pull him out.
Yep.
But Lays kept him in. He threw – notice that downfield pass to Mooney came after the run was established. So that way he didn't play action. He dropped back. He put his quarterback in wins, not in losses. That's the difference. And it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure that crap out. But I guess when you're Matt Nagy, I'll tell you what, though. I still have the receipt. So if KC will take him back, as long as I got the receipt, maybe they'll take him back and send us Bieniemy. Maybe if we walk in and say, hey, we meant to get Bieniemy, you guys sent us the wrong guy. Maybe they'll honor the receipt and send over Eric Bieniemy.
I'll take Eric sleeping with Bieniemy. Heck yeah.
Okay, I have to go back to Ed now. I know we deviated a little bit. So, Ed, go ahead and give us your ugly.
So my ugly is Urban Meyer throwing up all over himself with that situation in Ohio after they lost to the Bengals, and the video that came out, and then the subsequent video that came out after he had the press conference that made it seem even worse. And now Shad Khan, the owner for the Jaguars, is like, yeah, Urban's got to earn our trust back. Urban's like, yeah, I've got to earn everybody's trust back. But that is just that's a horrible look for him and the Jacksonville Jaguars. They're already a horrible enough football team, and now they have your head coach doing that on top of it. And you can't put a good product together on the field. And now your head coach is doing those kind of things that makes Matt Nagy look like a saint. He makes him look like an angel for what he's doing to the Chicago Bears.
No, he's not.
That's a tough one. I don't know about that one, Papa. That's a tough one.
No comment on my end.
Okay. I was trying to bail up Matt a little bit, by telling him about Urban.
No.
Okay.
I'm saying.
Sorry, Ed. I can't help.
Hey, we can have.
But will you agree that is a very ugly? That was the ugliest of week 4.
Ugly.
Yeah, that is the ugliest. Yes.
All right. So before we go ahead and let you go, Shawn, give us what it is that you're looking forward to the most on this upcoming week 5.
Andy Dalton to not start like this week, week 6, week 7, week 11, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Okay. I'm looking for Justin Fields to have a game. All right. I'm looking for a similar game plan. The Oakland Raiders, I wish they would have won yesterday, but they didn't. So they're going to be a little.
You mean ornery. The Las Vegas Raiders?
I mean, pardon me, the Las Vegas Raiders. They're going to be a little ornery going, when we come to town. But you know what? I wanted to play against a better defense. Justin Fields looked really good yesterday, and I want him to build on that. Unfortunately, we lost David Montgomery, but we do have Damian Williams, which who technically should have been the Super Bowl MVP when the Chiefs won it, but they got to give it to the pretty boy quarterbacks. I'm kidding, of course. But I think this guy can carry the load. They need to run the ball, and I want to see Justin Fields take another step forward. Now playing against a better defense. I'd like to see him just continue to grow. The one thing that's the most important thing now. I mean, we've released the Kraken. We've let him out of his cage, and you can't put Justin Fields back in the cage when Andy Dalton comes back. You just can't. But now you got to let him grow. You got to let him develop. You got to have him earn his lumps. He's going to have good times, highs and lows. And I'm looking forward to a high this week. I think the Bears can actually beat the Raiders down in Sin City.
I agree with you 100%. 100%. And you know why they didn't give it to Damon Williams, right? The Dark Brothers don't never get the
The
Never
love.
get the words. It's always the light skinned brothers that get all the stuff.
Hey,
You know how it
I feel
goes.
I feel attacked. I feel attacked here.
No, man, you are 100% correct. I'm with you on that super bag. Let the kid grow. You know what? It's like cooking something. You could throw it in the microwave; it'll be done in 3 minutes. But you marinate it the night before,
Mm-hmm.
and you take it out, and you let it breathe, and then you cook it, and you don't rush cooking it. You take its time.
No.
Nagy is, for whatever reason, doesn't want to do that. The kid had the hard first game, better second game. He wasn't lights out. No one in Chicago is saying, "Oh my God, we've got Patrick. He played like Mahomes did." We're not saying that, but he did better. Now let him get better the next game. That's how you get better, game by game. You don't get better playing 2 games and then bringing in, what is it, the red apple, red souffle, red, yeah, whatever. You don't get better by then bringing him back and then said, "Oh, well, we had game planned him to come in week 7 and then go back." You don't do that.
Yeah.
So I'm with you 100%. Look, don't put the toothpaste back in the tube. It's out.
Yep.
Right.
Yep, no one can do that. All right, Shawn, thank you so much for being a part of our show tonight. Do appreciate you coming on. We'll go ahead and have you on again soon. And go ahead and let our amazing people know where it is that they can go ahead and find you and find your work.
Guys, you can find me every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 9 a.m. to noon Central Standard Time, or you can go back and archive it because it's a little early for you guys over there on Sports Zone Chicago. I have a show called Shawn and Maya in the morning. Me and my co-host Maya Kai. She's a veteran in the sports talk industry here in Chicago. So me and Maya have a show on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, 9 a.m. to noon. You can check us out on Facebook, you can Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. We actually have an app, so if you have a smartphone, I don't know if anyone has a smartphone, but if you have a smartphone, you can download the app Sports Zone Chicago. Take us with you on the go. We have 5 other live shows on the platform Sports Zone Chicago, and then we also have tons of articles on there too, so you can check it out. And me, if you want to follow me personally online, I got the same handle for Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat at the Shawn Sierra. I made it nice and easy for you.
Awesome. Great stuff. Thank you, Shawn. Say hi to Maya for me, and we'll be in touch.
Will do.
Super
Thank you for
back.
having me on. Hey, PLR, thank you. I can't wait to fire one up this weekend before the game.
Yo, man, we got to end up in the same city again like we did last time. That was fun.
Yes, it was, Doctor. Yes, it was.
All right, brother.
All right, now. Thanks again.
Thank you, brother Shawn. Thank you,
All
sir.
right, guys.
Good night, Shawn.
All right, night.
All right, PLR. I want to go ahead and keep you on for just the last 2 minutes here. We're going to go just 2 minutes over because I want to go ahead and talk about our badass WNBA women. We have Phoenix Mercury and the Las Vegas Aces facing off tomorrow, Wednesday night at 7 p.m. at the Footprint Center. They've just been tearing these Aces apart. Their ball game has just been out of this world, moving the ball around the court. They've made some major improvements, and they've just doing what they needed to be done. And these races are frustrated the heck, out of the game, where at least the last game, which was on Sunday. So we're curious to see what the Aces have coming out there for Game 4. And the Mercury are leading 3-1, and the Mercury can be leading to the finals if they go ahead and can come up with the win. What was your takeaway from Sunday's game, and is there anything that Mercury need to improve on or they need to be worried about in your opinion?
Well, you always have to be worried. It's the first to 3, not the first to 2. So you're always worried when there's another game. And Las Vegas didn't play this year for that record, for that seeding, to not be a tough team. They're very big. They're very physical. I think one of their biggest problems right now is Liz Cambage just has no win after coming back from COVID. Her lungs aren't right. You can tell she's laboring up and down the court. The Mercury have found a rhythm and something that disrupts. See, I think the Aces have the size advantage. I think the Mercury have the quickness advantage. And I think that's a big difference because they can kind of get to where they want and Brianna Turner has been insane. In that last game, look, in game 2 in Vegas, everything the Mercury threw up went in. And they gave up over 90 points. People are forgetting that. They gave up over 90 points, but they scored over 120. I mean, everything they threw up went in. It didn't matter who shot it, it went in. The last game was the right kind of butt kicking. They played defense, and Sky and Diana shot 5 for 21, and they still won the game easily. That means everyone is contributing. Everyone is doing their part. BG right now is a nightmare. Look, I know Diana Taurasi is the best player to ever play the game, the women's game, but BG right now is the best player in the WNBA. She can get where she wants, when she wants. They've played every defense against her. They've tried junk defenses, triple teams, one-on-one, two-on-ones, come late, come quick. She's been reading it all and killing them. So I think the Aces are going to have a hard time tomorrow. I think they're going to play like a team with their backs against the wall, obviously. Let me throw out all the cliches. Backs against the wall, got to play to win. There's no tomorrow. Throw them all out. They're going to do it. But if the Mercury keep doing what they're doing and play hard-nosed defense and keep being the team that's punching and not reacting to punches, I just don't think the Aces can defeat them.
Yeah, I totally agree. It's going to be a great game. I'm excited for tomorrow night and seeing this, and hopefully, they'll be able to just bring it home and be able to go ahead and make their 5th WNBA Finals appearance in hopes of achieving, another trophy, another winner there, and 4th championship. But we also have the Sky and the Sun right now. Chicago is leading 2-1. Another heck of a performance there by the Sky. Sun has been a favorite, and it's almost, a potential, outcome that the two leading, teams in the WNBA may falter and not make it to the finals. It's, there's still, some basketball, not baseball, basketball to be played. Anything can still happen. And, like you said, PLR, there's still a game, and that can still change the momentum in the game. But very exciting. We have first 1, 2, 3. The first one to go ahead and be able to go ahead and come on top. We'll see what the WNBA finals will look like.
Can I tell Ed something real quick? Ed, how cool is it that the NBA finally got this one right? The Mercury they don't have to get out of their building for a concert. They don't have to get out of their building for Disney on Ice. They had the Suns slide their preseason game down to 3, play on the Mercury court, give the respect to the ladies' game that it deserves. The only thing I'll say this, I think the NBA Ed should have done differently is, if you got in for the Suns preseason game, that ticket is good for the Mercury game. I think you should have kept more butts and seats that way. Obviously, the NBA is about that dollar, but I think that would have been that nice extra icing on the cake. Chris Paul has bought another 500 tickets. I know the Mercury gave my crew another bunch of tickets, so I've been giving out tickets left and right as well. But how good is it that the NBA finally got this one right and said, let them play in their building? They haven't played a playoff game in their home the entire playoff series.
Yeah, because you guys were with them when you were covering them at GCU on Sunday. They were down in Tempe over at Desert Financial Arena, and they're just like, okay, so Disney on Ice is bumping us. We're getting bumped because of a concert. We could have possibly gotten bumped because of the Suns-Lakers preseason game, but you're right. Thank goodness that the Suns and the Lakers and the NBA said, okay, we're going to bump this thing up so you guys can finally play at the Footprint Center where you belong. That's your home arena. You should play there. Especially should they win tomorrow night and they go to the WNBA finals, they have to play in that very building, right? Yes.
Yes, indeed. I think it's well deserved, and I'm happy that they were able to go ahead and move some things around. They have to be playing in their home court.
That is so cool. But, they did that too.
Yeah. So unfortunately, that wraps up our show. Though I know we're crunching as much as we can in here in this last few moments. But before we go, PLR, go ahead and let our awesome people know where it is that they can find you.
The Cave Show, Monday through Friday, 1 o'clock. Go to thesportscave.com. Cave is with the K. Hit the listen live button. There we are. Also download us on Spotify, as well as iHeartRadio. And our replay is back up playing on KSRN. We're everywhere. You can't miss the show. And if you missed it today, go back and listen. The great Amber Dixon was on Las Vegas Sports Reporter. She was awesome, and she's a fellow Sun Devil as well. So it was a lot of fun catching up with her and talking Vegas sports. So, and we're back tomorrow with some breakdowns, breaking down the Mercury. We'll be at the game tomorrow, so we'll have even more coming your way.
Awesome. Ed, go ahead and let everyone know on your end.
And I think it's cool that you guys are going to cover the game tomorrow night. That is really awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you. Some of us have double dip duty, Ed. Some of us are doing the Suns game. I'll be at the arena all freaking day tomorrow. Oh, and I'm sorry. At Sports Cave on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Caves with a K, PLR on Sports on Twitter. Sorry, Ed.
That's okay. So for me on Twitter, give me at EdCole43, Instagram at EdwardCole301, right here on Inside Sports Talk. When Paul and I can get our schedules back together, I'll be back on the Sports Cave and on Facebook at Edward Cole.
All right. Then you can find me, Joanna Rosali, on both Instagram and Twitter at JRosali. That's JROSALYE. You can find Inside Sports Network on Instagram at Inside Sports Net. And you can find us on Twitter at Inside Sports as well. And download from wherever it is you listen to podcasts. Listen to us on KSR in Arizona. And thank you, everyone. This was Inside Sports Talk. Until next time. Thank you. Sorry, I have to jet. My friend's waiting for me. I'll text you in a little bit when I'm wrapped up with her.
All right, I got to edit this audio anyway. Okay.
All right, cool. Thank you. Great show.
Thank you.
Bye.